Cora, if you tell me this is a practical joke, well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cade, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Let's get serious, people.
Zavala, this is my serious face. Can't you tell?
Ikora, what have you got?
Someone or something has sabotaged the Skyline defense systems.
And comms have been spotty for the last few hours. Every sensor beyond the wall has gone dark.
Maybe it's just the storm. Maybe it's... What are the set feeds telling us?
Nothing.
Well, that's good, right?
No. I mean, they're not there. There are no satellites.
And that's not good.
Battle stations! Everyone with me, now!
Hang on!
Guardian, to me!
Don't let them pass the gate. The evac shuttles are back there. Red Legion are well trained, but we are better. We will hold this line until the last civilian is safely away.
Incoming! Fall back to my shield! More Red Legion! Show them what Guardians are made of!
Need to find the speaker. Zavala, the last of the shuttles is away. But the speaker, he never made it. I'm going to look for him.
I've got the plaza. Go with Ikora. Find the speaker.
We're on it, Commander. Ikora, the speaker is gone. Red Legion, you will take no more from us, and you will find no mercy in me!
She'll find the speaker. We need to move on that command ship. Now head to the North Tower. I'm sending Amanda Holiday to pick you up. Amanda's inbound. She'll drop you on the command ship.
Someone told me you need a ride.
Zavala, picked up that Guardian you never shut up about?
Get them on that command ship, now!
Hold on back there! Come on, big guy. Do something. All right, Guardian. Time to kick him where it hurts.
Okay, the shield generator should be at the bottom of the ship.
King, what's your status?
Low on ammo. Old flaming fist. Kept burning out. Anyone heard from Akora?
Nuts, wait for the speaker. Form up! For me!
The shield generator should be straight ahead.
Your journey ends here.
Pre-order and get beta early access.
Hi, I'm Mark Noseworthy, project lead on Destiny 2, and this is The Inverted Spire.
Welcome to Nessus. This planet is crawling with Vex. The Red Legion has sent in crews. We need to know why.
Strikes are these 3-player, cooperative dungeon romps, essentially, where you matchmake with a couple other people, and the idea is to shoot as many monsters as you can to go from point A to point B, to kill the bad guy in a cave and take his loot. With Destiny 2, we've got a whole suite of brand new strikes, including the Inverted Spire. Nessus is this unstable planetoid that is being taken over by the Vex. they are essentially terraforming this planet from the inside out. And it has these really amazing cliff faces and incredible vistas. And of course, we're not going to just make you look at them. You're going to have to interact with them. And so in the Inverted Spire, you're going to be jumping on some of these cliff faces from block to block and seeing the amazing environment. And you're going to have to use that to get to different spots, and then ultimately man-cannon your way across half the destination before you can finally get to the Cabal drill site.
Oh, look! Look! It's a Vex Milk waterfall. Can we stop and... Aw. Guardian down.
In the Inverted Spire, about maybe halfway through, you come across the Cabal Red Legion, and they've been on this planetoid, Nessus, this is the new destination, and they've been boring out a hole in the middle of this destination looking for something. And this drill, you see it, and it's not just in the background, it's right there in the combat space, and this drill's going around, and it's got these circular blades, essentially, and you're trying to ultimately get down in the hole that it's drilling, but the blades they come around really fast, and they can just KO you or any of your opponents in one shot. So you have to find just the right spot between the terrain and the drill, and then there's bad guys, of course, all around, the safe spots for you to get through and get by, bob and weave your way through this, almost like environmental puzzle. It's not super difficult to figure out, but it's really, really fun and feels really frenetic and intense. And of course, we're introducing a lot new combatants into Destiny, starting with the Red Legion. The Red Legion are like the Cabal elite forces. They're like the Navy SEALs of the Cabal, and they have an entirely new way of fighting because they're the pinnacle of the Cabal Empire. And they've introduced 3 brand new units. So you have the War Beasts, these dogs with these like vicious masks on them, and they'll chase you across the battlefield until you give up. You have the Incendiors. They have flamethrowers with these big jetpacks, and they'll just burn you out of any hole. And if you're really good with like a scout rifle or hand cannon, you can hit their jetpack and cause it to explode and do AoE damage. And then you have the Gladiators, and they have these 2 melee blades. Well, they'll come in viciously at you and attack you in short range, but they have a lot of health. They're not like the Thrall that you can just like pop off really easily. You need to get your shotgun out, or you need to jump up to high cover to get away from you, because if they close the distance, they're going to take you down.
They've encountered a massive Vex mine.
And then we finally come to Protheon, the final boss fight, where the Cabal have unearthed this, ancient Vex boss. And the Cabal are no longer there to deal with it. You are. We're definitely trying to have a really strong resonant theme in every strike where you can kind of feel it from beginning to the end, and where each boss fight feels like an epic set piece moment. It could be the climax of a different video game, like that epic enough that you feels like it's a really compelling climax. And each boss has numerous stages that you go through, and the fight intensifies and changes over time.
Hey, what's happening to the floor? Energy change. Watch out.
Ikora, if you tell me this is a practical joke, well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cade, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Ikora, what have you got?
Someone or something has sabotaged the Skyline defense systems.
Every sensor beyond the wall has gone dark.
Battle stations! Everyone with me, now!
Hang on!
Your journey ends here.
has taken our home. And now, they threaten our very existence. But if we attack together, we can take back our home, or we die trying.
All right, Guardian. Time to kick him where it hurts.
Am I right? Am I right or am I right?
Pre-order and get beta early access.
What makes a guardian a guardian? We take our first breath with no memory of who we were before. Yet, we are inexorably drawn to the light. We fight, we die, and we live again. Chosen for a reason, by something greater than ourselves. For as deep and wide as humanity's rivers have run, it has now been reduced to a precious few, needing something to believe in, and a place to call home. This is what we have been called to, the future that we fight for. The future we will protect. Shaped by the fires of each new battle, we are forged and sharpened into what we must become for the fight ahead. What we have built is only the beginning, a symbol of what we can achieve, of who we are and our great purpose here. But the day may come when we will be tested, when all we hold dear is threatened. And then we will see what each of us is truly made of.
We have these incredible worlds to explore. There are all new destinations, new planets, with incredible spaces and secrets hidden. Now we have stuff tucked around every corner, under every locked door. There's something there for you to find.
The map is a huge part of this new player experience for Destiny.
Now you can actually go directly from one planet to another planet without going to orbit first. You can just open the director, pick your new destination, and go straight there.
It's about getting you into the action faster. We want to remove as many barriers as we can between your gun and the enemy's face.
Everything you're doing on every destination is about getting more powerful, and it's about getting the band back together. The Vanguard have been scattered, and as a player, it's your job to go out to these mysterious destinations and gather them back together. And everywhere you go, it's about growing more powerful and learning how to go back and take back your home from Gaul.
One of the first destinations that you're going to go to is the European Dead Zone. This is an incredible place. It's the largest destination we've ever built, easily, maybe by a factor of 2. And we have found a refuge where we've built a camp.
It's the place where humanity stops fleeing, and it's where they decide to, plant a flag, start getting strong again.
One of our new worlds is Titan. It's a moon of Saturn.
If the light can find its way back to you, then perhaps there is hope for us all.
That's where Zavala chooses to go, to heal his wounds and to recover from the assault and the defeat that he's just suffered.
It's this incredible methane ocean with 40-meter high waves, and there's an old human utopia there that's sinking into the ocean.
These huge monolithic structures constructed by humanity at the peak of the Golden Age.
There's literally no landmass on Titan.
It looks like the ocean.
Hurry, come on. I don't know how long this portal's gonna stick.
Cade is on a planetoid called Nessus. It has been totally occupied by the Vex. They have transformed it almost entirely into one of their machine worlds.
It has its own native vegetation, and the landscape has these incredible canyons that are actually based off of this word I will mispronounce called Tepui, which is like these Brazilian plateaus. And then we go to Io, which is this sort of sulfuric yellow moon of Jupiter.
Io is the last place in our solar system that the Traveler touched before the collapse happened.
And you can imagine that a place where the Traveler once appeared has a bunch of mythology and lore and mystery surrounding it.
It's a very sacred place to Guardians, and particularly Warlocks, and particularly Ikora.
This is where I return.
Hey, you two, give me a sec. Zavala's doing the hero thing in the plaza. Me? I've got a date with whoever's behind this. It'll be a short date.
Destiny 2 tells a brand new story. What happens when a world full of superheroes loses their powers, their history, and home?
Since Destiny 1 release, there's been no foe that they could stand before and not tip over. Whether it's Crota, Oryx, spider monsters, whatever. But in the opening of Destiny 2, players realize there is in fact a foe who has the power to not only take everything you own away, but to take your power away.
Gaul, and the light is mine.
Dominus Gaul is a Cabal warlord who has brought with him the Red Legion and has come to our system to take the Traveler's powers, the light, take it for himself.
Gaul's jealous. He wants to have the light. He wants to be chosen.
Gaul is a different villain. He's not a psychopath who just wants to erase humanity off the face of the earth. He feels like this is something that is owed to him because of everything he's been through.
He's a villain who you're like, yeah, this guy kind of has his stuff together. He's more like Alan Rickman's character from Die Hard. Like, minus all the Britishness.
The Protector itself, the Traveler, is put in a cage, and in an instant, all Guardians lose their light. Unexpected and irreversible. You can no longer go back to the tower. You can no longer even walk. All you can do is stumble.
Nobody expected that light could be taken away once it was given.
The city has been lost and the Vanguard's been cast out. And you are the hero of this story. Whether you're a Titan, a Warlock, or Hunter, you have to go out and get your powers back and take back the city.
Whether you're playing Destiny today or it's going to be your first foray into the franchise, Destiny 2 is a new adventure for everyone.
It's a fresh start for all players.
Destiny 2 has an all-new cinematic campaign.
There's more cinematics than we've ever had before.
How long before the fleet's combat ready?
And more story missions. There's quests, there's adventures, there's going to be people talking to you.
Let's bring them home, you and I.
All new worlds to explore. We've got cooperative strikes for 3 players, new Nightfall strikes, and a brand new raid.
And in Destiny 2, we built you all new weapons, all new armor, and a pile of brand new exotics. We also redesigned the weapon slots. They're gonna have a kinetic weapon, an energy weapon, and then a power weapon. Power weapons are things like fusion rifles and sniper rifles and grenade launchers. In that energy slot and the kinetic slot, you can have the same weapons. The new weapon plan was designed to provide players with more freedom and more choice to use the stuff that they love.
Each character has these new supers, and they're really changing the way it feels to play the game. We have the Dawnblade.
You can cast your super, you've got your sword, and you're flying over everyone, and you can just rain down fire, phoenix, projectiles that just decimate people.
And then you have the Sentinel. The Sentinel is a Titan, and he is able to summon a shield that he could just knock his opponents out with, or he can throw his shield and just bang it off dudes' heads. And then you have the Arc Strider. They summon this mystical staff and wield it like a crazy acrobat, cracking enemies in the head. It's awesome. The idea of losing your home and being cast out and the lengths that you go to get it back, it's all tied together to be something that's really meaningful.
The sense of starting as an underdog and climbing to a great height is really fun.
Destiny 2 is the place where we get to reach back out to everyone who could enjoy a sweet first-person shooter in a future world with giant awesome aliens to fight and gear to chase and powers to use and say, come check this world out, come get invested in this world and in this story.
Hey, Zach. We just got back from Los Angeles, didn't we?
We did. We just exited orbit, landed down on the strike here.
Yep. So, yeah, we actually went to this amazing event that Bungie and Activision threw where they revealed the first ever gameplay of Destiny 2. Not only did they show us gameplay, they let us play, and that's what you're seeing here is some gameplay captured by myself and Zach here running through the new strike that they were showing off called the Inverted Spire.
That's right.
Zach, really quick, just overall impressions from the event of Destiny 2.
Overall impressions, it seemed really great and really promising. This strike that we'll see here, I thought was, if you compare it to, the strikes from the first Destiny, it felt like it was on kind of another level. The campaign section that we played, which unfortunately we cannot show you, but you can see it in kind of that gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
Was completely unlike anything we'd ever seen in Destiny 1 before.
Yeah, completely.
So I'm really excited. I took a lot of time off of Destiny, but I can hear it whispering my name once again.
So yeah, the first thing you'll notice here is, probably the first thing you'll notice is the new HUD in the bottom left. It looks quite different. There's a third icon down there. You'll probably see us using some of those new skills there. But I want to talk about the weapons a little bit. The weapons have been completely revamped in
Yes,
Destiny
they
2.
have.
You no longer have a primary, secondary, heavy slot. Now you have a kinetic weapon, an energy weapon, and a power weapon. So I was playing stuff where I had a hand cannon in the energy slot. I had a sniper rifle in the power slot.
Yep.
It's completely different. It gives Bungie a lot of flexibility in terms of like the types of weapons that they create. Oh,
Yep.
this was a fun moment.
Yeah, here we go. Right into it. Jumping puzzle right off the bat.
Okay, I think we're watching me now, and I just happened to be the only one who made it across on my first try.
Well, Justin,
hi guys.
You are the hunter. Okay, so the hunters obviously with the double jump have quite, or the
feels
triple
so good.
jump have quite an advantage.
Check
So
out that new dance emote, by the way.
Let's maybe we should keep a running count here. This is me. I'm the warlock. You can tell by the icon in the bottom left there. So that's 1 death for Zach and 0 deaths for Justin.
Okay.
Out to an early lead.
Okay.
Let's see how the rest of the playthrough goes.
Okay. We don't need to go there. And I had the cheeky wave emote going on.
Of course, it is Destiny after all.
Of course. So yeah, we go. You see, we launch through these. I think they called them man cannons. Oh, yeah, that was me. Sorry.
1 to 1.
It wasn't my fault though. I mean, I didn't have much control when I was flying through the air there.
Okay, it's definitely the game's fault.
So yeah, we get launched way across the map. Already a really big scale for this strike. There we go. I finally made it across. So yeah, we saw some interesting enemy types too. You'll see some new enemy types showing up shortly. Obviously, we're fighting Cabal here. They are going to be one of the main enemies that we'll face throughout the course of Destiny 2, based on what we've seen so far.
That's right. It's based on that kind of gameplay story trailer we saw. It looks like there's leader of the Cabal has his eyes on the tower and brings in his army to blow it up. And so I think, obviously, you know, we are on a Vex planet here, and we are going to encounter some Vex a little bit later. Or actually, we already have encountered some Vex.
This is a planetoid, a small planetoid called Nessus, which has been occupied by the Vex, but they're also Cabal here, so big variety in the enemies.
Did you have a favorite enemy group from Destiny 1?
The Vex, actually.
Really?
I really thought the Vex were very cool, very mysterious. I mean, the Vault of Glass being amazing might have had something to do with that.
Sure.
But yeah, I really liked fighting the Vex. They've actually done some cool things with the Cabal here, too. One major concern that I had when we started hearing about Destiny 2 was like, oh, the Cabal, like, the guys with the shields and everything, I don't really like fighting them. But they've done some interesting things with them here that make them more interesting to fight.
Indeed. So for those keeping score at home, that's 2 deaths for Zach, still 1 for Justin.
Are you actually doing this?
Well, why not, right?
Okay.
Why not?
All right.
I think it might be closer than you suspect.
Okay.
So yeah, I agree. So we're gonna see a few new enemy types here coming up in a little bit. We actually might have already seen one of the new Cabals. The Cabal were actually my favorite enemy type.
And at this part, I thought I was gonna die, but then I realized there's some more stuff under here that I can fight.
Yeah, right. Like until I saw this footage from you, I had no idea that this part of the level exists.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You know, they've clearly learned some of the things from the success they had with the raids in Destiny 1, as far as you know, size of environments, verticality, exploration, platforming, and I think that they've implemented. If this strike is any indication, they're implementing kind of pieces of that throughout the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You might have noticed when I popped my golden gun there, it did not end after 3 shots. I still had a bit of the wick burning on the super there. The golden gun is now a 6-shooter, but the wick burns faster. So it's less like in Destiny 1, you would be afraid to use your golden gun because you didn't want to waste it just on some mobs.
Right.
But now you have more shots, so it makes more sense to use it in a group of enemies. I think people are going to be encouraged to use their supers more.
And
same with the Titan Smash there.
Right.
You get multiple uses out of it.
That's really interesting. I actually only played as the Warlock. We played a bunch of, finally I revived myself here. We played single-player campaign. We played the Strike, obviously, and we did some PvP. And I only got experience with the Warlock in that new subclass.
Oh, really? Out of all the stuff we played, you only played Warlock?
Yeah,
huh.
Can you believe that? But it's all good. You know, Warlock was actually my first character. So that's all good and fine. So Justin, tell me about that third new icon on the UI there.
Yes, so that is a class ability. I'm not sure that I had figured it out by the time we were doing this, but basically the way it works is so Warlock, Titan, Hunter, they now have these class abilities that I believe persist across the different subclasses. It's always going to be the same regardless of what subclass you are. But
2-2, by the way.
So Warlock, which you are right now, we might see you do this at some point here, but if you hold circle as a Warlock, you create this rift on the ground underneath you that gives you, here we go, yep, that gives you a healing kind of aura that you can stand in, and your allies can stand in that too. You can also, I saw a node that was not unlocked in the perk screen, but you can also change that to be an empowerment. Oh, nice try there, man. So what you saw Zach try to do there is to hold circle while you're in midair and quickly descend to the ground and regenerate health while you're doing it. Didn't quite go as planned there.
No. Three deaths for me, all by falling.
So that grenade that I just threw there is a swarm grenade. I think there were swarm grenades or something like it, and I think it's similar to the skip grenades from Destiny 1. But yeah, so you see I kind of tinkered around with the subclass screen here. There's a lot of stuff that you can switch out here. So Gambler's Dodge there is mapped to my class ability. This is where I figured it out. I was like, so I was trying to figure out, because I knew about the hold circle for Warlock. I couldn't figure out how to do it as a Hunter. So if you double tap circle, you get the dodge roll, which is kind of like the Shade Step from the
Night
first
Stalker,
game.
right?
Yeah.
That was an advanced Night Stalker.
Exactly. So all Hunters will have that ability now, but it's on a cooldown. It's a pretty short cooldown, but you can't just keep dodging out of the way.
It's really interesting. I wonder how that change kind of layers down into, like the Night Stalker subclass.
Yeah, exactly. So the other ability that, sorry, I blinked for a second there. The other ability that I was looking at there, and what I'm trying to do here is, if I do that dodge near an enemy, it recharges my melee, so my throwing knife. Oh. So I do a knife, and then I dodge, and then I have another knife ready to go.
Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bungie is top of the class in designing these kind of complex systems that really complement each other in interesting ways. If you're willing to, go that extra level and see how they can all combine.
Yeah.
So here, you're finally going to get a look at the Warlock Super.
The Dawn Blade.
The Dawn Blade, which I think, Justin, you summed up really well. It kind of reminds you of the sword from the first game, right? The Raze Lighter.
Yeah, so it's a flaming sword, kind of like the Raze Lighter, but it behaves more similarly to the Bolt Caster, which was the Arc exotic sword, because it fires projectiles. But now it's mapped to the Warlock Super. It's not, the equipable item.
Yep. Yeah, and I really enjoyed using that class ability, the kind of regenerative health thing for the Warlock. I used it a few times throughout this playthrough, especially during the boss fight. But it was great, and I love that it kind of introduces a element of support to a class that I don't know if it really had it before. And correct me if I'm wrong there. I guess some of the Sunbreaker stuff had some support elements there. But my main in Destiny 1 was a Defender Titan.
Nice. So you were very sought after in raids.
Very sought after. But just generally speaking, regenerative auras really speak to me for whatever reason. So we didn't get to talk to them too much about some of the visual improvements that they've made. Obviously, it looks, visually, it's the same engine and looks similar to some things in Destiny. But I felt like just the scale and some of the effects that we were seeing in this was pretty much unlike anything that I can recall in the first Destiny.
Yeah, and earlier would have been a good time. I should have brought this up earlier, but earlier we saw a lot of foliage and stuff, and it was very detailed, very kind of lush plant life on this planet.
That was fun. I really like the these kind of like balls that come down, holding little cannibals or cabals. Yes, exactly. Holding their it's almost like they're boats, attacking the beach.
Yeah,
we'll see a couple drop in here, soon, but they have a really cool effect to them.
Cool. So we're getting close to the boss fight, I believe here.
Well, we still have the drill to go through.
Oh man,
don't forget.
We do.
Don't forget.
Yeah, okay, I wanted to skip the drill.
Well,
can we not talk about the drill?
Anyway, some foreshadowing for you.
Yeah.
So obviously we've seen a couple new enemy types. Yeah, there are those things. Those look awesome.
The little war beasts.
The war beasts.
Look at those guys.
Oh my god. Was not a fan.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I'm gonna hate them as much as I hated the dogs in Bloodborne, but you know, first impressions were not great for the war beasts.
These guys remind me a little bit of the Thrall, the Hive Thralls
Yes.
from Destiny 1.
Yeah.
But a little more beefy, a little faster, I think.
And-
Kind of hard to pin down.
Yep, and I'm already concerned about what like the super advanced versions of the war beasts are going to be.
So look at how quick my golden gun melted that elite enemy there.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really cool. I love that they've kind of tweaked the supers a bit, made them feel more versatile rather than just trying to save them for bosses.
Yep.
And one of my friends I was talking to at the event actually pointed out that I think all of the supers are now roaming DPS supers. So it's not basically you're encouraged to use them against mobs more often because it's the type of supers that you pop it and then you run around and you shoot stuff or you do stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it seems that they focused on making people want to use their abilities more.
That's good. And that's something that like I never would have put on my wish list for Destiny 2, but it's something that like when I think about it, thank you. That's such a huge quality of life improvement because I constantly felt like I had kind of super paralysis in Destiny 1. Where it's like, especially as a Titan, like I really need to wait for the right moment to use my super.
Yeah. So you'll see at this point, I'm figuring out that you can shoot the gas tanks on their backs, and I'm having a whole lot of fun with that.
Yeah. These enemies were a blast.
Yeah. Literally.
Can we stop recording? No, I'm just kidding. There's
that Dawnblade
super again.
So good.
Very
God.
fun.
That Dawnblade looks like so much fun to use. I love it.
It's great.
Oh, the drill.
Here we go. So, tell us about this section here, Justin.
I don't wanna. Can you tell us about this?
Is
section?
that 3-3 deaths there for you?
I don't want to talk about
Okay.
the drill.
So the Cabal are here and they're boring out a section of this planet. And so, of course, to do that, you need a drill. A couple prong drill that, all right, 4-3 for me. That presents quite a bit of kind of platforming puzzles. It's a really interesting environmental challenge because you see this action here is taking place on kind of two planes, and the drills extend to each one of them. And so you have to move through them, and obviously there's enemies on both levels. And while you're taking out the enemies, of course, you have to be mindful of the giant drill.
So right there, I had the bright idea to throw a grenade behind that guy who was holding the shield up to make him take the shield down.
Super smart. Probably, on that note, probably not even worth mentioning, but shooting still feels super good. And all, the moment-to-moment interaction still is, in my opinion, best in class.
Yep.
And you see with the some of these new enemy types that they're even adding.
By the way,
in
that binary 01 Lazarus, that's me. So every time you see binary Lazarus died, just keep on racking up that tally.
Here's my valiant Saving Private Ryan moment. Where I need to go in and really rescue my friend here. I don't know what happened here.
I think you're trying to revive me, but you're not quite close enough.
I'm not looking at you. Is that right?
My
okay.
guess.
Yeah,
I got into a bad way here.
My aura was very helpful here, though.
Yeah, man.
There we go.
Thank you. Thanks for the res.
Once again, the Warlock melee is very, very fun.
Thank you very much for cutting out the footage of me just dying repeatedly.
Well, let's stand by for a moment there, Justin.
Okay, maybe I gave you too much credit.
It's not just the two of us, or it's not just you though, because the drill plays no favorites.
This drill is merciless.
It is quite challenging.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Are we still keeping track?
It's
whatever.
What are numbers
anyway?
We'll
call it a draw.
That's fine. This is probably the end of this sequence, right?
Yeah, I died.
No.
Oh, and then big over there. He was the smart guy who just ran ahead to progress the strike rather than trying to keep rezzing.
Nothing like the passive-aggressive Destiny emojis. Those still have a lot of impact. Oh, Well, there we go.
Oh.
Let's, for for brevity's sake, let's just move through this a few times.
Oh man, can we just? Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Something.
Okay.
Let's call it 35 to 34. Oh, but you, for whatever reason, you didn't quite res in the same area that I did.
Okay. Well, this I think this I didn't see any of this. This is new to me because I was still dead.
Right. There was actually, I chose a bad part to kind of look at some of my weapons here, and you can see some of the interesting abilities. Because as you noted, our compatriot just kind of ran ahead, and thus we spawned into the boss room.
Yeah. All right. So this boss, I was very impressed by. First of all, note that name, Protheon, the modular mine. Very similar to one of the bosses from Destiny 1. I don't know if...
Crota? Are you referencing Crota?
Close enough. Atheon from the Vault of Glass. So I'm not sure if he's actually related to Atheon, but I'm going to go ahead and weave this story in my head that he's Atheon's like distant cousin.
Yep.
That he, didn't invite to his birthday party or something.
Let's fire up the grimoire. Let's dive in and see what the real story is.
So yeah, you'll notice that this guy has a lot of health. One cool thing that they're doing is they actually split the health bars into segments now, rather than being one big health bar. Just a cool little touch.
Yep. You just saw there kind of a brief shot of one of the other new weapon types. I've been playing around a lot with my SMG, but there's also the grenade launcher, which I was a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get too much footage of it in the strike, but I used it a lot in the campaign.
Grenade launchers are pretty self-explanatory. You know what it's going to play like.
It's true, but like everyone wants to see the Destiny take on the grenade launcher,
Yeah.
right? And like the mind is very excited about what the potential for like a exotic grenade launcher could be, right? Like there could be some really wild stuff that happens.
Yeah, the submachine gun was not exactly what I expected it to be. It actually is a very close range weapon, I feel like.
Yeah.
The damage falls off at distance pretty severely, and it's kind of wild trying to shoot it. Its stability is low.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun to play with, though.
So there you saw this boss has a few different stages, and we just the floor just went away. So fell into a new arena with kind of a totally different set of cover.
There I
also
go.
added this new, this new kind of heat strike where you have to jump up to avoid getting burned.
Here's Zach to save the day once again.
Always the support, right? Here's me once again, just trying to generate some orbs for my team here.
Good use of that Dawn Blade. Yeah, this fight was a lot of fun. I was really impressed by the way that we talked about how it kind of changed segments here. Here we go. It's I almost fell off.
Ooh, good save.
Saved it though. But yeah, it actually added a lot to the fight, going through and having to kind of readjust on the fly and figure out, how is this phase going to work and how is the boss changing his tactics and everything.
Definitely. And it's a little bit difficult to tell here, but the crit spot was changing over time as well.
Okay. Yeah, I was having a hard time locking that down. We're getting overrun by Vex here.
Yeah, this was a little bit brutal.
You're making good use of that Scorch melee though.
Oh yeah, and my Aura hero really saves the day in a second.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
that was
Nice.
a rough place to be.
Man, that Warlock aura is so good.
It's pretty OP, right? I mean, look, while you're in there, it doesn't last when you leave. But while you're in there, not only can you regen health, but you get kind of an overshield. So if you're feeling swarmed, you can drop that down and then, take that, of course.
He kept on teleporting away when I tried to throw a grenade at him.
What a tease. So here we go again. Oops, where'd the floor go?
Falling down one more time. And I realized a little bit later that that white stuff down there, you don't want to step in.
Yes. Unfortunately, we had to learn that the hard way. So any thoughts kind of outside of the strike, Justin, on Destiny 2? Yeah, we have
man, I mean, if we want to start talking about everything else, we can talk about Crucible, we could talk about how awesome that story mission was. Let's talk a little bit about the Crucible just for a moment. They're doing 4v4 matches now. We played a new mode called Countdown.
Yep.
Which was kind of an attack-defend mode where you have to place charges on specific points, and the other team has to stop you from doing that. You swap places. It was very interesting. Had shades of the elimination type modes and felt kind of trialsy.
For sure.
Because you have limited revives. That's another new thing they're doing is you have a revive token in that mode.
Yeah, that was really fun.
So you have to pick and choose who you want to revive, when you want to revive them. So it's much more strategic than the chaos of a control or rumble match.
For sure. I really liked it. Trials was one of my favorite parts of Destiny.
Yeah.
Definitely certainly a love-hate relationship with it. Very high stakes.
Of course.
But that it felt like a somewhat more casual version of Trials, but I could see the high level. I mean, we got completely wrecked by everyone, but once you really kind of get the hang of the maps and how those charges work, I could see really falling in love with that. We'll hopefully have some footage of that up soon. But yeah, I'm excited. The Crucible kind of like grew over time to be one of my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah, mine too.
And I think as we see what they do with clans and guided games and things like that, I think it really has potential to take it to another level. Because I almost, aside from Trials, obviously, I almost did the hey, all right,
yeah.
Crucible completely solo.
Binary Lazarus died.
There we go. Unfortunately, they didn't give us any loot for that.
Aww.
But Justin, why? The boss is over there, man. I don't know why you're.
Come on, man.
I just had to do it.
Yeah, thanks. I like how you just shot me, and then our other friend went to res me, so I could be a part of the celebration.
You're in a dangerous place, man.
Whatever. He made it. He was fine.
True. All right, 10 seconds, Justin. What do you
10 seconds.
think?
So Destiny 2 looks amazing. It comes out this September on PS4. It's going to be 4K on PS4 Pro.
Yep.
I can't wait. It looks fantastic. I had a ton of fun playing it. Yeah.
I'm particularly excited to see what they do with all the patrols.
Times may be dark, but we are Earth's greatest hope. Look around you. A gathering of noble guardians new and old.
Okay, listen up. You're a bunch of dirty misfits, but you're all that's left, so you'll have to do.
Our home was attacked. I was there and fought against the endless onslaught.
They kept coming, so I kept firing. Not gonna lie, I was magnificent.
Despite the sacrifice of many brave guardians, we lost everything. The tower, the city, our home.
So, everything is gone. Your stuff, my stuff, most importantly, my stuff.
Today we know our enemy. His name is
Gary! Or Gil. Glenn? Is it? I don't know. It's something with a G!
Gaul. I know you look to me in times of peril, but this is not my battle alone.
Which means if I don't see you out there, I'll kill you myself.
It is time to avenge this injustice, for that is the duty of all guardians.
Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
So I ask you, who will stand with me?
Yeah! Really, guys?
That was inspiring.
Also, there will be a ton of loot! Yeah, right? That's what I thought.
Pre-order and get beta early access.
Okay, so I'm in this super boring meeting about something. I don't know, wasn't paying attention. Then, boom! It was like an ugly contest where everyone was a winner. This one dude was all, raw, so I shot him. And then I shot this other one. Shot a couple extra guys just to be safe. I did a lot of shooting, if I'm being totally honest. Then, they destroyed my favorite store. Second favorite. There's that spicy ramen shop. I'm getting sidetracked. Look, long story short, I get busy. And I'm thinking, I've got this. You know? When you're in that, you go, I got this. But man, I so did not have it. Guess you have to be there. Well, better get back to it.
King, any day now.
Jeez, the guy has one drink. Coming.